Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here on the last day of August. I don't know what it is about the last day of August rolling into September. It just feels like you need to wrap things up, or like, I don't know, the summer really isn't over in the end of August. It'll be gorgeous summery weather all of September here in Virginia, but I always have that gut feeling is like, summer's over. Which this summer being so stinking hot isn't like I'm ready for a little bit cooler. So today, that said, I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but feel free to tell me how you think about the last day of August. Is this sort of like embedded there? Okay, so we have some chat about the Oh My Stars, getting it to the next point. I've got a clip that I did the other day when I was putting these fabrics up, so let me run that. So this is what I did after I filmed the other video. I had put the top and the left, and I showed you how to place the stars and talked about coloring around the stars so that they pop. But really what I need to do is have all the fabrics laid out so that I can do the sewing as I'm making other things. So I can start and stop chaining other projects with a unit from here, which means I'll probably work in little sections. I laid them out so that every row has at least one black fabric. I think only one of them has two black fabrics, and then the dark greens are, for the most part, that darkest green is the star, but I did add one extra one in there. Otherwise I didn't use any of the dark green. They're just for the stars. And then there were several lights that didn't end up in there, because you do have a few more. When you use two charm packs, you do have a few extra. So several of the lights didn't go in, and two of the blacks did not go in. And I think I'm pretty happy with that balance. I think that's really, really good. Took a couple pictures, sent it to a friend, and like, what do you think? So I cut all these squares for the stars. And so, here's a star right here. So these will be the star points, and that is what I'll do first. It's a nine patch, 3 by 3 for the stars. So I will do the 2 interior stars and then the 3 border stars, and I'll get those done. And I may go ahead, like I mentioned, and shift all of this up to the left part of my design wall, as far up and as far left as I can reach, and then that way I have the area down here on the right to work with the project that's in progress for the book. Okay. So you'll see these little videos popping up as I go along with this. I don't know how long it will take, but it will see. So now that they're up here, I want to show you a couple different things, because I do have a little a little quirky about fabrics, certain fabrics touching. Like when you use a charm pack, the number of duplicates of things depends on how many different patterns are in the actual fabric line. And then you could have the same pattern in 2 colors. So I don't want the same pattern together. I think most of us would not want that, because then it looks like a rectangle instead of squares in the quilt. But I also don't like the same pattern in 2 colors to touch each other. So I found that up here I had the black tree and the pink tree, next to each other. And as far as I can tell, that's the only one I have. And so I actually had sewn that row already, but I decided to unsew it so that I could make a change. So I just took these 2 and removed them from there, because this row had already been sewn. So I just took it apart. It was no big deal. So then I looked around, because I've got pink trees down here, so I really do need a pink tree up there somewhere. So I decided that I would substitute it for this pink snowflake. Oh, let's see, I can't do that because then there's another. I was trying to do the pink because then there's another black tree there. It's the exact same issue. Okay, so we're going to switch these 2 blacks like this, that black tree. Then I'm going to put the pink tree here, and then the pink snowflake up there. All right, so that might be good. That might have fixed it. We will see if I feel like I need to move that tree down. It's all a part of just looking at, right now I like the color balance. So the color balance is good. So it's more of, do I think that the 2 black trees, do I want to make that one? So, I could do this. I could take and put that guy up there, a flower, and then put the tree over here. So I might do that, leave that sit. So what I'm doing at this point now is sewing these rows because I have all the interior star points done. You know, everything you can see in this part. I have exterior star points for around the border. The border is over there. It's that big print. I'm going to have to fussy cut it some because those big flowers, there's gaps then where there's no flowers. So I want to fussy cut it like I have it folded so that there's flowers in the border, which is not a big deal because I bought enough of it. And I'll have extra of it to use for backing. I may use it for the binding and then whatever's left put on the backing with some other fabric. So I think that's pretty good. Now I will sew it in chunks, 4 by 5 chunks, so like this. So there'll be 4 rectangular units, and then I'll put those together. And I'm gonna need that design wall like now. So I'm gonna have to get the ladder out and shove it all up into the corner so that I can work down in this section. And I might ultimately just have to fold it up and try to mark it so that it doesn't get too messed up. You just never know. All right, so be sure that you have downloaded your calendar for September so you know everything that's going on. I have a project coming where I don't have the information all out there yet, but we have a project that can be Christmassy, or if you want, you could do it non-Christmassy. But that'll be coming up. Mine will be Christmas, and it uses a jelly roll. And then somebody told me that there's a jelly roll Saturday or something this month. Well, you know, I'm not prepared for that, but if I can get this together and tell you about it by that day, I will tell you about it, but we won't be sewing it on that day. And then I took my completion sheet. I did one thing in August. I did this one. I sewed all of those blue blocks together. Do you remember this one? So I got one thing moved along to the flimsy stage. So now it is a quilt top, a flimsy. So there were those. That was this one. So I'm pretty happy with that. Got that guy. He needs to eventually go to the spa. Okay, the other thing that I did, it's on this list, I'm just, for September, if I get a binding done, I picked a mermaid quilt because it's smaller. If I get that binding done, then I will be happy. I will be happy for September. That's all I get, because I need to work on the book. I can't be too distracted on finishing UFOs. Now on my bats and boos, I wanted to show you what I did. I put a little bitty border on it. So I cut that 1 1/4 inches. Then I will actually do the binding with the same fabric. So what this will do will give me a bigger punch of that orange all the way around than just binding will do. If I put just binding on there, it's going to be like just a 1/4 inch. I'm putting this binding on this, and I will see what you see now. What you see now is how much orange you will see. So it's like almost like a big chunky fat border binding, but it's a little mini border and then the binding in the same color. So I've done that before in some things. It turns out really nice, and I love the look of it because you just don't really even notice that it's this like a mini border. It just sort of like looks like a fat binding. I like it. It's also good for when you send it to the spa, to the long armors, because you've actually locked all your seams out here so nothing can pop while they're putting it on that machine and getting it tight. Somebody asked me about these blocks that I did from the AccuQuilt. So they're all made. Those will have to go up there. They all are the same, with different centers pretty much. I ended up with just doing it that way because I really like this block. So, and I haven't made a block lately where they're all kind of pretty much the same. So I thought, well, that would be interesting to do, but it's going to have to wait a little bit for its turn. I probably won't. But I mean, I may put them up on the wall one day to show you, but I'm not going to put sashing on that one until, the fall. The fall, that would be like tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. I will be doing sashing. Probably, later, maybe in January. Okay. So we have the Happy Everything Sew Along, which is going to be, I'm going to be publishing some information on that very soon, so that you'll see the layout of the quilt. So one of the things I'm interested in is I have the layout, but are you curious? Like, this book has all different size, things in it. So it's an asymmetrical layout to get all the different sizes. And there'll be a few little extra things popped in there. But do you want to see it where I show you the block from the book name in the position? Or do you want it really a mystery to not know? I mean, I'm going to do it sort of sequentially anyways, so you'll figure it out. But I didn't know whether you wanted to see that, or would that be spoiling the surprise. I can give you the layout with the blocks blank. It would just say block, or I can give you the layout that tells you like a name of a block from the book, and then there'll be a few mystery ones. So let me know. Let me know in the comments here under the description box. And while you're there, click subscribe. Mwah, mwah. Then we can be friends. All right, from that book, because we're going to be hitting fall tomorrow, I was doing some organizing and thought, oh, I'm going to get out the twister from the book. So this is one of the quilts for Halloween or fall in the book, but you could do this quilt in any fabrics. That's what's fun about it, is that you could make it in Christmas fabric, and you can make it in fall fabric. You could make it just in fabric that matches your decor, or if you're giving it as a gift that matches. Wouldn't it be pretty in spring? And it would be great with novelty prints. Like on this one, the orange is got owls and stuff, so it's kind of a novelty print, and you could do that, or use just the background as a novelty print, and then use more solidy looking ribbons around it. The other thing from the book, which I would really love to do in some other fabric so I could use it like as a project basket, would be one of the baskets from my book that I did it to put Halloween candy in, lots of Halloween candy, but I think it would be great just to put other kinds of projects in, like there's your sewing, or put your yarn in here. It's very decorative. You could fill it with pine cones for the fall, use any kind of fabrics. You could do it as a gift basket if you're doing a gift for somebody, filling it with pretty soaps or towels, like kitchen things. Anyways, there it is. Okay, my friend, if you're working on the Oh My Stars, let me know if you've enjoyed these tips on it. I gotta get working on some other things, so I love you. Mwah. See you online.